I'm Executive Director of Screenwriting at Azusa Pacific University in Los Angeles, and I am your moderator for the next hour. Sadly, Brandon Ralph is not here yet, but we have some really cool people that I'm going to bring out. So first up, this Australian actor and director of more than 80 stage plays has credits that include playing Dumbledore in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Walter Bishop on Fringe, and Sleepy Hollow. Now himself, John Noble. Our next guest, I first saw in the producers singing the signature song "Springtime for Hitler." You probably know him best as Jack Harkness from Dr. Who and Torchwood, or as the Dark Archer, aka Malcolm Merlin, in the Arrowverse, John Barrowman. Finally, this Ontario native has been nominated for a Primetime Emmy 6 times. His credits include the film adaptation of Godspell, the ABC series Alias, and Eli Stone, Power, and Martin Stein on The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow. Victor Garber! Okay, house rules. This is going to work. For every question I ask, and I have one question for each of our guests, you get to ask at least 2. There's microphones on the left and the right side, so start lining up now. And I'm going to kick off by asking a question to Victor. Victor, I want to know what the conversation's like when your agent calls you and tells you, yeah, CW wants to play half of a superhero.
I said, do they have the right number? This came out of the blue for me I was asked to do a couple of episodes of The Flash, to play Martin Stein. At that time, my other half was Robbie Amell. I know, it's too bad he's so unattractive. Anyway, so Greg Berlanti, who's the producer of everything, said I worked with him on Eli Stone, which was one of my most treasured memories of the show. Thank you very much. And so I said yes, before I really knew what I was getting into. And suddenly I was in Vancouver shooting The Flash, and then the next thing I knew, they said, we're going to do this new show, and we'd like you to continue. And I thought, when would I ever, at this age and stage of my life and career, ever get a chance to do something like this? So I said yes. And then I got to work with the wonderful friends, Drama, who I adore, and that was where it all happened.
Awesome, thanks. Question over to you.
Hi there. I think all of you guys are wonderful as your respective characters. I have a question for John Noble. How did they present to you the guest starring John Noble as your son?
Oh, my question.
Okay. Thank you for the story again. Because we filmed 4 years of Fringe there. It was wonderful. But the crew that was working on Legends of Tomorrow were all the old crew that I used to work with. And I love them, and I'd be so close to them. Really good friends. And then I was asked to do Boston Palace, playing the evil one. And we used to talk in the studio and go to record, and what a pity we can't catch up, there's no way we can do it. Yeah, right. And they came up with this idea, I don't know who saw it, but that they did a flashback to Lord of the Rings, to my trailer, and the guy comes to the door and says, Peter Jackson wants you to do a cold read for these lines. And I sort of improvised as I went. I thought it'd be fun to do it with the Australian accent too. And I just made up, this is crap. I think that would be neat. And Philip was, hey, talking, you can't introduce a new character. Shit, I can't look. And that was it. I was sort of improvising. But I had another thing beforehand. I thought to be funny if it was funny. So the day before I went out to the toy shop and I got a big chicken, a rooster head like this, and another little floppy chicken. And so when the knock on the door came, I stuck that chicken. I couldn't eat them more chickens! And that was funny.
I think we should work together. That's the kind of shit I do.
Thank you. I didn't even see where you are.
I love that. Over here.
Oh.
Hi, first of all, my wife loves everything that John Barrowman and Victor Garber does, and John Noble, I love you, and Lord of the Rings. Anyway, first of all, I hope that Colin Brody shows up. I don't know why, but what character would you like to come back into the Arrowverse that, as a character, is either dead or is no longer part of the ongoing show, other than your own?
This is to all of us?
Yes.
Well, start. The obvious one for me, I'd have to be greedy, and there's two that I'd like to come back as. One, obviously, would be as Victor's other half. but with Robbie Amell. And very, very painful. Yes, very hurtful. Not if you cough. Anyway. Don't even. Is this what happens here at Dragon Con? I don't know. What happens at Dragon Con stays at Dragon Con. Just don't go into those upper floors of the Marriott Hotel at night. Don't. Really? There's different theme parties, because God forbid you get into a furry party, you're lost. The other person, if I had to come back, really this is a more serious one, I'd like to come back as Felicity. And go figure that one out by yourself. You know what? He's not in the show.
I would like to actually come back as Martin Stein. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but that's I miss doing the show, and I miss that character. And I hope that they can find a way to go back in time and pick me up somewhere, or Earth 6 or whatever. I can't. I don't really know what's happening. I have to have, every day I walk on the set and say, where are we? And have I done this before? Have we done this before? Or have I gone? And Franz would explain it because he's brilliant and he knew everything, and that's how I got through. And so I would just, I would actually love to revisit my teammates. I miss them.
What if he came back as a bad guy?
Yes. Well,
If he came back evil.
Evil Martin Stein. Yes! Thank you, John.
Dark gray.
The most fun, which is the one you want to go back to, there's one you won't know and one you will. Playing Water Vision on Bridge was just an extraordinary experience. And because you got, I used to get away with murder, not really. Because they would just hand me stuff and say, what are you going to do with it? And I did. And the more they handed me, the more I loved it. It's a outrageous character to play, almost the perfect character to play. The other one you won't know was the best fun. It's something called, something Trisha on Hard Island. It was a kid show series, and I played Black Art. very big door, you know, nice children. And this guy was really vegetarian, one of the I finished up having a long thing, and I don't know what that means. But I thought it looked good. And someone was, and had a white eye, and dogs, just the fuck. We filmed PG, which didn't hurt. We were, but all of it. But there's something. But those two, so the treasure requirements, John.
When you were in Fiji, did you try and, what was that? Kelsey?
Kava.
Kava.
Certainly.
Did you? I did too. Yeah, kava, if you're ever in Fiji and they offer you kava, it's a root of the plant and everybody drinks it. And I had no clue what I was drinking until somebody came up to me and said, it's like liquid marijuana with a little bit of speed and everything mixed into it. Like, yeah. But it's all natural, right? And I said it's organic, and they're like, oh, yeah.
I'd like some.
But they were like giving it out at the restaurant to all the guests. And everyone was trying it because they knew, some people knew, and I was drinking it. I couldn't, I mean, yeah. By the end, I don't know what I was doing by the end of the night.
But as usual. Well, you played the ukulele. They like the ukulele. They love the ukulele. Yeah, late at
If you're ever in Fiji and someone offers you kava, it's a drink that you drink. It's like licking the bottom of a dirty blackboard, but it's good.
Question over here.
Okay, hi. So I'm a huge John Noble and Victor Garber fan, by the way. I love you both.
so loud. Drama queen.
And actually, this question for John, or for Victor, but I just saw you on Hello Dolly with Bernadette Peters recently. But my question is, how did you feel about the death of your character on DC? Because I know when you died, I literally was in tears that episode.
Well, you know, it was hard to do, frankly, and they wrote, you know, I kept dying. We were doing crossovers, and we were doing all of them at once, and I was on, so I didn't know what set I was on. I thought, where am I? And aren't I dead? I shouldn't be here. I kept saying I'm dead. It was very, very emotional for me to leave the show, and I loved everybody, and they gave me this beautiful send-off, and they gave me the puppet that they made of the Mark Simon grief counselor. And so it's in my manager's office. They put it on the wall in my manager's office, and so it was emotional and tough, and that's why you know but I had to go back to my other life in New York, and now I would like to go back and visit Matt. So right in, no one's calling me.
John Barrowman.
Yes.
One of the biggest plot twists of Arrow was the reveal that Malcolm Merlyn was Thea Queen's father.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Oh, you don't know?
That came about actually in a conversation with myself, my husband Scott, and Andrew Kreisberg, who was one of the original creators of the series, and it was, I think, season 2. I was talked to beginning of season 1 about coming in as Malcolm Merlyn. Would I do it? Wanted to be part of a whole new universe, the creation of something. It's not very often you get called up to be asked to create a new character on television or anywhere, and when you do as an actor, I've always said to create the role, it's a good thing. So second season came around, and they were wanting to go down. They wanted to have lunch with me because they were telling me I was going to be a series regular. That was one big surprise. And then they started talking about where they wanted to take Merlyn and what they wanted to do. And they actually said, we want to reveal that Oliver is Malcolm's son. And I went, okay, isn't it a bit Darth Vader, Luke, I'm your father, all that kind of stuff. And they're like, they they said, well, yeah, we never thought of it that way before. I said, but that might be obvious. And my husband, Scott, eating his chicken Cobb salad, went, why not try something different? And I looked at him and went, what? All of a sudden you're a writer? He's like, and Andrew literally went like this, Scott, speak. I'm like, oh dear God, here we go.
Oh, I know.
Well, why go the obvious route? Why go not go the other way? He said, why not make Thea your daughter? Because then Oliver can never kill you. And I'm like, honey, you've just secured my job for a while. So that's really how it was my husband Scott's idea to make Thea Malcolm's daughter. And if you watch in an episode later when Thea is being treated at the hospital, the doctor's name is, I think it's either Sheridan Gill or Scott Gill, which is after my husband's name, real name is Sheridan. And so they put his name as the doctor, the character's name, in the episode to say thank you while he was treating over here.
Hi, Mr. Garber. I saw both yours and David Hyde Pearson's performances at Hello Dolly, and yours was beyond amazing.
Thank you.
But Mr. Barrowman, one, how is your mother doing? And two, what are you wearing tomorrow for your photo op?
To answer number two, none of your business. Come to the panel and see. But it's a thing that I have had created specifically for DragonCon, that's all. And you'll get it when you see it. And I've also found a disco version of the theme song to this, to the TV show, which I didn't know was out there. And it's going to be really awesome. The first question, my mother is doing well. For those of you who don't know, she fell and broke her hip. That's why I kind of went off social media and all that kind of stuff. And we were getting her into a facility where she basically got to relearn to walk again. And she's doing well. I just spoke to her before I came onto the panel. And she said to love Victor. She said she loves you. She said, too bad the ship sank. Really, she said that.
It wasn't my fault.
No, it was the seal makers, yeah. Do you know my grandfather actually made, this is probably not something I should be proud of, really, but my grandfather made part of the exterior sheeting for the Titanic, and we have a medal that all the steelworkers were given when they finished it.
That wasn't the problem with the ship, so that's okay.
Thank you. First question, so my mom's fine. She might get out of the hospital on Tuesday, so we'll have her home.
Hello.
Oh, there.
I don't know where anybody's.
Yeah.
Hi. John, I did not know that you were a director. That's very cool. Made me think of, it must be very hard for a director to come into a long-running television show, especially only doing one episode. So what traits have all of you found in one-off directors that have either really helped the process or hindered it?
That's a
Serious question.
Because you got to be politically correct.
I know, boy.
I think about it a lot. The only negative issue that I've had is some of them brought in film directors, and they don't quite understand the process of making television, or the speed, or the proficiency of the crew that are working who work in sign language, and that can be very difficult and disconcerting. That's happened. One particularly bad. I like the guy; I thought he was pretty creative, but it didn't work for television. But other than that, I had any complaints about what. There's a lot of one-off directors because there are a lot of directors through the circuit, and and thank God that more women starting to direct now as well. It's about time. No, one-off haven't worried me, and to some extent we become director proof, because that's not really great either. But you as an actor, you kind of know where you're going, what the blocking's going to be, because you know where the cameras are. So after a while, you don't need to be told a great deal about it. They certainly don't give you character notes if you're a regular. That doesn't work. That's my answer.
I would say that, plus to add on the whole thing, I've had it before with Doctor Who and Torchwood, and also in Arrow. Sometimes directors would come in, and it's happened in musicals, and I'm sure you've dealt with this also, Victor, where they come in and they try to reinvent the wheel, and it's like, you can't reinvent the wheel because it's a perfect thing that works. And so when you come in and try to change what we know about our characters and try to make them do something, and the script writing, if they guide you away, you have to follow that, and you have to figure out a way to do it. But if the director tries to tell you to play something differently that would be weird, or to do something that is totally out of character, you kind of have to stand up and speak up. The thing with doing episodic television is that every time it's different. I like working with different directors. Again, I agree, we need more women directing in these situations to bring a different, and also more men and women of color to be directing, and Latinas and Latinos and all sorts of stuff. So that diversity, once it gets in there, then we can bring there's a whole new thing that you can bring to television itself. But there are times I've bumped heads with directors before.
I've never bumped heads. I found that, I guess Legends was, Alias was the longest show on, but here's the thing, some directors are good and some aren't. Yes. And it's really, really simple. And when you get a good director and you think, oh, it's only going to be a 9-hour day instead of a 15-hour day, you're so grateful. Because a really good director on television knows how to get the day faster, which is crucial because people work so hard. The crew, more than anybody, frankly. And you just have to kind of go with it. And what I've often said to a director that I didn't think really knew what they were doing, I've often said, look, I'm just going to stand here, and I'm not going to move. And then that way you can do it in one shot and a close-up. I said, because the day is too long, and we've got to finish. Now, I've actually said that, and because I'm old, and because I've been around so long, they had to listen to me because and really, it was in service of the entire cast and crew.
And in defense of that, when someone does that, those of us who are on the set and see that happen, you respect that because the rest of the crew respect it because they want to go home, and everybody around respects it because you actually are, that's it. You're dictating.
The main thing is, see, the biggest problem with directors that don't know what they're doing is they overshoot. Meaning they get too many angles, too many close-ups that they will never use because the fact is they can't. And they don't know what they want. And they want to show the people who are watching it in LA because they're not where we were shooting. They like to have all these options. So it was a great sack. It was very detrimental to the morale of the cast and crew. And that's there are directors who I could honestly say I won't work with that director again because for that reason. I'll name names later.
Right down here in the front row.
Can John and Victor do a duet for us?
No.
We did it on Flash. You can buy it on iTunes.
I have to vocalize for a week before I sing with John Barrowman.
Over here. Between time travel, alternate universes, and musical episodes, you've all had the chance to play very different alternate versions of characters who you've been for many, many, many episodes. Kind of tying in with the last long question, what's it like to take a character and do something completely different with it, but still have it be that character?
When I played Walter, I finished up with about 17 versions of Walter. I'm not joking, just some of them just subtle changes caused by and some are pretty big ones. It's for an actor, for this actor, I love it. It's challenging as hell. Some of them are really challenging because it's the same person. It's exactly the same core person in different circumstances, different times. And that's the premise. And you will change things like your stance, the way you speak, or stature or something. It's really fun. And sometimes it's confusing. I remember once in Fringe that I had to do a half season without Peter, my son, in the show. And the only reason I was there was because Peter, my son. So how the hell did I have to motivate? You know, it was, and I did. But it was, that was a real challenge. It was hard because there was no love in his life, basically. Like, there's no love. But I love doing it as much as possible. Thank you.
For Malcolm Merlin was an evil, badass, son of a bee on Arrow, and mean and just deep, terrible. He smiled at you, you knew you were dead. And then on Legends of Tomorrow, he was a little more lighthearted because he allowed Damien Dark to be the kind of evil one. And Malcolm almost looked at him a little judgmentally because he was seeing a different side to himself when he was in Legends. And then in Flash, completely different. He was a singing, dancing. Huh? Yeah, completely different. But the one that I love the challenge. I didn't mean to. Throw another chair away. Hey! On Doctor Who, Captain Jack was completely different in Doctor Who than he was in Torchwood. He was a little harder in Torchwood. He was the leader of the gang in Torchwood, whereas in Doctor Who, the Doctor was the leader of the gang, and Jack was, he was the flirt, the gunslinger, all sorts of stuff. So I'm the same as John. I enjoyed going to different sets, and what was really great with Doctor Who and Torchwood, our sets were separated literally by a big black curtain. And I used to finish shooting on Torchwood and sometimes then go over right into Doctor Who, same outfit, right? Because it's time travel. Jack could be wearing the same thing, that's how they got away with it. And I would go in and be with the Doctor, and it would be a completely different person. But it's a challenge, it's lovely. That's what makes episodic television a good thing to do.
Yeah. I'm always the same. Well, Martin Stein, although when he merged with Firestorm, I was voiceover, so that was the best part of the job. I could go home, and friends had to do all the, wear the fancy costume. But honestly, for me, it's always got to be in the writing. The writing is the secret to anything that works, I think, for me. And I rely on writers too. And when I don't have that, I resort to my old shtick, and to either make it funny or incredibly serious. And Martin Stein really didn't, change all that much. I mean, it was just he basically remained the same. And but the most fun I had doing that show was when I met my younger self. And the boy who played me was so good, and his name escapes me at the moment, but he's really, really talented. And that was one of the more interesting, probably the most interesting scene for me in the whole series.
John Noble, you've appeared in some iconic science fiction and fantasy film and television series. Traditionally, a lot of actors with your street cred would say, "Oh, I'm not going to do that kid stuff." But not only do you do it, but you play the hell out of it. So, I mean, are you naturally kind of one of us, a sci-fi fantasy geek, or?
It's sci-fi circumstantial. I take a character, whether I was doing Shakespeare or I take them the same. I have to find the truth. It's boring. I have to find the truth in them, and I have to put together. And I never think that, I'm doing science fiction or I'm doing a kid show or something. I just don't think that it would be pretty disconcerting to me. So I treat them exactly the same as I was playing Shakespeare. And I've learned to appreciate science fiction enormously because I wasn't a fan. And as much as anything, it's coming to these events like this and meeting people, and the number of people that do enjoy it so much. It affects me. And so I find myself now becoming a fan of good science fiction, which is great. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello. Victor, I wanted you to know that your performance in God's film still means so much to me, and it made it gives me right here. And then for John Barrowman, I love your portrayal of Malcolm Merlin. I love the chemistry you have and the way you engage. Is there a particular role that you're still really wanting to play, something that you've got your eye on? Is like, if that opportunity comes up, I would love to have that role.
I'm sure, Victor and John would agree, and I, with this also, the fact that you're asked to do parts and being, I know the three of us are trained actors in the sense that we know the craft and we've studied it, and when you say it's boring, it's not boring at all, because those of us who started off maybe in the theater and doing that, our ambition in the theater was to play things like Shakespeare. So when we did get to do it, and I was fortunate enough to do it at the National Theatre in London, and was afraid to do it, having trained, and being so scared, but it was the director who pulled me aside, Trevor Nunn, and he said, just play it like you always do, because it's reality, it's real, it's a heightened reality. But character-wise, with things, I don't really look at the future and think, this is a character I'd like to play, because I don't know if it's been written yet, right? However, I'm always game to go back. I would love to go back and play Malcolm Merlin again. I've always said that I would love to play Captain Jack again. I'm older now, so it would be a little bit of a different take on it. And I've also started with my sister writing things for myself. We got Cursian, which is being released on Webtoon in October. It will be released, I think, and it's a new comic book with Legendary Comics, and it's starring, ready for this? John Barrowman is the main character. Oh, no. Yeah, totally amazing. But I mean, they've drawn the character to look like me, so that if it does transfer to television or film, I would like to play the character. Let's hope it does that within 5 years, otherwise I'm going to be too freaking old to play it. I'll play it, yeah. But that's what, if we're able to do that as actors, it's lovely to be able to write things to help yourself. But again, if there's something comes along, that's what we do with pilot season, and throughout the year, we still go and audition for things and read for things, and that's it. And that's the challenge of our business, to find those characters that you really, really can get into and dig deep into. So the answer to the question is, no, I don't have any, but yes, I do.
Hi, thank you all for coming to Dragon Con. I like your shirt, John Barrowman. I guess my question is more for you and Victor Garber. When the Arrowverse started, it was this dark, gritty place where, people were trapped on islands and stuff like that, and eventually we ended up in a lighter place where we have a music-themed villain, and occasionally people distract bad guys by breaking down the song. I'm really interested about
for us, they weren't quite prepared for how much for us. And ultimately it always turned out to be, particularly the trio with John and Jesse Martin, that was for me the most rewarding, because they're two amazing singers, and I had to really work to get and I had to record my parts separately, so we never actually were together in the studio. It was really difficult. And Blake Neely, who writes all the music for all those shows, who's a genius. He came to Vancouver to and helped me and recorded all my stuff with me, and so it was really thrilling to do that, and I loved it, and I thought particularly the Flash episode of the musical, I thought really was beautiful, and it's one of my favorite songs.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's Greg Berlanti's favorite song.
Yes, it is.
And it actually is one of my favorite songs.
It's originally, for those of you who don't know, it's originally from Guys and Dolls, and if I'm correct, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And but Yeah, we don't, input-wise, I hadn't been asked yet to sing in it, and then when I found out the musical episode was happening, I put my feelers out and I said, if you don't ask me, I'll be upset, and also you'd be stupid. So they did. But what I loved about that episode was the diversity in the episode. You had all these people who, some of us who were singers, some who were not singers but could sing and didn't know they had such wonderful voices. Darren Criss, I still, to this day, text him and say, you screwed up the dance movements at the end, and it's on camera. Because I was so nervous going in that morning to do that big sequence. As Victor, I wanted a lot of I'm not a dancer, I'm a mover, but I wanted a lot of dance rehearsal because I'm not used to all this kind of stuff that everyone was doing. I'm more so the flow and lift the lady and all sorts of things. So I wanted to get it right, and I worked my butt off, and I was in early to rehearse 2 hours before everybody else came in. And then Darren came in, and the rest came in, and Jeremy Jordan to do all the number. And I just rubbed it in after every take. I was like, Darren, you screwed up again. But it was fun. But that episode, Jesse and Victor's character being coupled with, and having to do all that kind of stuff. It was just great to see that across that episode. So I love doing it too. And a pleasure to sing. I've never sung with Victor, but I've known of Victor being a big musical theater queen. I'm even here sitting next to him. It's so thrilled.
I'm so glad I could today. Over here.
I have a question for Victor Garber about Martin Stein on the Legends of Tomorrow. How did you feel about your grandchild in the beginning of season 3?
So about my daughter?
Grandchild.
Oh, the grandchild. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. No, first of all, I'm insane about children and babies, and also it just gave me something else to play. That character. It just gave me more to do, and I loved it. I loved the woman who played my daughter too. She was just a great addition to the story, and to me, the great thing about I'll just take this back to Alias, because I think the reason Alias was so unique and special was that it was really about a family who happened to be spies, but it was the family dynamic. That's what everybody remembers. My relationship with Jennifer and Lena Olin, and that's what I certainly was what resonated for me as an actor. And the same thing kind of with Martin Stein and Robbie, and Jax. It's always about the relationships. Everything else to me was not as interesting. Time travel, all of that stuff, which of course is part of the great thing about it. But to me, it was always about the family, the dynamic, and that's what kept me going.
I have an all-state question for all three of you. All of you have extensive theater backgrounds. Theater and television are different. Do you have a preference between the two? Because each has its rewards, and each has its, deficits.
Television's better paid.
That's for sure.
The same principle, the same principles apply that we talked about. Yeah, an actor can actually find the truth in the character. Doesn't matter. Technically, and we are technicians, there's different things we have to do. And it doesn't take long to slip back into them. But no, the same essence in there. Preference. You know what I mean? I used to run a theatre company for a long time, and then I gave it up and didn't want to do it anymore. But I've done a couple of shows up in New York, and I love doing it again. So I don't know what I'll do. But I love the speed of it. I
I love the speed of television. So fast! Oh, give me shivers. Not always.
No.
Come on.
I want to work on your show.
There's
Having kava flowing all around, right? I still have a production company in the UK, and I've produced stuff for the BBC, for Channel 4. I've also, starred on things. I've done variety shows. I did 18 years of theater before I got involved in television. I started in children's television. And so whether it's me playing a character or presenting on a TV show, or hosting as they call it here, I love what I do, and most of you who know me from years ago by, this is all that I ever wanted to do as a kid. So to be part of it and to be acknowledged for it is the biggest dream come true ever. I will never pick a favorite, because each of them to me, whether it is theater, film, television, or writing with my sister, or producing something, they all have their challenges and their different aspects of it that I thoroughly enjoy. And all with the joking that we do, one pays better than the other, and I know I probably speak for these two gentlemen, if the script is right and the character is good and it's a good piece, we will work for tuppence halfpenny in the theater to do it. Yeah? So it's about the passion, and if I may jump out there and say this, that's what sometimes I see lacking in some people when they come up, because they want to be stars before they want to be good at their craft. And that's the one thing that it's great to be a star when you get there, because that's icing on the cake. That's one thing that if it happens...
Let me know how that feels.
I'm still trying.
I'm absolutely in agreement with these fellows, and but I have to tell you that I did theater for so many years, and when I started doing it was for me a long time before I got TV work and film work, and then I loved going to film and television, and then after several years, I was so. When the first day of rehearsal at Hollow9ine, which was 7 or 8 months ago, I walked into the rehearsal room and there was tape on the floor, and I was with Bernadette Peters and Jerry Zaks, the director, and we started the day reading we both knew our lines because we memorized the lines before we got there, and we started, and I thought, what is this feeling I'm having? I thought, oh, this is pure joy. And I hadn't felt that for a long time. And that kind of, it revived me. And so now I can come back to, I just think I need to do all of it. Because it's, like anything, if you just, and particularly in television, if you do a show for a long time, it can really drain you. And television is a very draining thing when you're doing a show for years and years and years. So I like variation, and I like the theater. I love the theater. It's where I started and probably where I'll end
I was just saying, Jerry Zaks gave me my first job in London, and anything goes.
Who did you do it?
I did it with Elaine Page.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've heard of her.
My first gig. It was called Anything Goes. Yeah.
That was a great production.
It was good.
Over here.
Hey, with all of you guys having such great and versatile careers doing theater and film and TV, kind of piggybacking off the last question just I asked, kind of what would be your most challenging role out of all of the three above, and what would be your favorite?
That's a good question.
May I jump in? I played a role, it was the role that got me my Olivier nomination early on in my career. It was his name was Cal Chandler, and it was directed by Sam Mendes at the Donmar Warehouse, and Cameron McIntosh produced it. It was a musical about a political family,
I had to go and not only, it was a challenging sing for me, but it was one of those roles where I had to go and do a lot of research. I had to go to drug rehabilitation centers and sit with heroin addicts, and I had to watch them shoot up if they had to, and I had to... Anyway, the background was incredible. I loved playing the role, but what was really a funny little story, on the night that we were about to start the show, and Sam came back to me and he said, "John, darling, I just want you to do something really outrageous tonight." Well, don't ever tell me to do that. And I went out and I did the number, and there's a number in the middle of the show where I have to, my uncle who is in a wheelchair and confined to a wheelchair, I have to seduce him to get the drugs out of his pocket, so I'm in my underpants. I've been digging around the garden, I'm all dirty, I'm standing in my underpants, and I get on top of him and seduce him and blah, 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 and then I finally get the drugs and the needle, and I thought, this is where I'm going to be outrageous. I just opened up my shorts and pulled everything to the side because I remembered at that moment, one of the recovering drug addicts said, if we don't find a vein, we have to do it in our crotch. And I did it, and this is all I heard. People were fainting. It was, and literally, and then we continued, finished the show, and Cameron, Cameron came back with Sam, and Sam was like, amazing! It was just amazing, it was just bizarre and off the wall, and Cameron went, darling, we've all seen it now, don't ever do it again.
What is the name of this play?
Oh, it's called The Fix. The Fix. And it was written by Dana P. Rowe and John, can't remember John's last name, oh my God. Anyway, but it was great. They did it in Washington, D.C.
Isn't it time to be revived?
Oh, no, it was, yeah, it's a really good show.
Wow, that's amazing.
Sorry.
Most challenging role.
Oh, Bill. Look, playing Denethor was hard as hell. Denethor was really hard to get into a state where a man is prepared to kill his own children. And as a father, I can tell you that was a hard one to dig into. I did, but it was hard. I used to sit in we were in Wellington, and I'd sit there the night before, and I think, I can't do this. And I'll put on sad music, and put on songs about fathers and sons and all sort of stuff. And that kind of got me into a very fragile, vulnerable state. And that was hard as hell. And I didn't mix with anyone really, except the young girls really. I didn't socialise because I didn't feel like it. That was real tough. But the end result, I was pleased with it, but I wouldn't want to do it in television.
You guys do it all the time.
I'm 23 episodes. Yeah, thank you. That'd be a good question. That was the end of the question. Thanks. Victor?
Oh, gosh. It's really hard to say. I suppose, when many years ago, my friend Nicholas Martin said, who is now gone, but he was a director friend, and he sort of would tell me, I would say, well, I don't know what to do now, and he'd say, you should do this, and he would direct me, and I'd do it. And we were doing The Royal Family in Williamstown, which is a summer theater, and he said, I think you should play Macbeth. I said, you can say it, don't make that, don't use it anywhere. It's not, you can say it. We're not in the theater. Even if we were, it's fine. Say it. The point is, I don't want that. That's bullshit. Yes. And I said, no, that's a really stupid idea. And he said, no, I think you should play that role. And so I did. And we did it at the Old Globe in San Diego, outdoors. And it was a beautiful production. And I got home to the little place where I was staying, little room. And was the first performance, and I said, you just played Macbeth, and it wasn't very good, but you got through it, and that was one of the greatest, it was life-changing for me, because, first of all, I really understood what a thrill Shakespeare offers an actor, what kind of magnificence is available to you as an actor, and also I just overcame an enormous fear, and I don't want to do it again, and I don't think anybody else wants me to do it again, but that was probably the most challenging thing I've ever attempted.
That was what, just to follow with the two other gentlemen, both of you guys. Have you ever done something where you've been offered the role or a job and you've gotten scared, but you've pushed yourself through the fear to do it?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. And sometimes you don't know. I mean, we sometimes try to audition and read for things. Not always, but sometimes you get a character and think, God, I hate that guy. This has happened to me twice recently. I hate this guy. He's vile. I don't want to do it, but he says do it. I don't want to do it. What I had to do was to forget my personal opinion of this character and go inside of his life. And when I did that, it's very interesting when you do this. You get inside of them and you actually understand exactly why they're being an AL, why they're being so vile. You actually understand the player. But first impression of empathy, it's in.
It's what we're lacking in our whatever line.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is that John's first impression was, God, he's vile. I hate this man. But once the actor got into it, it's quite interesting. He'll still come out as a baddie, as I normally am, but that's all right. Hey.
Over here.
Hi, I'm a huge fan of all you guys being at Arrowverse. This is a two-part question, and it's for all four of you up there. I was wondering if there are any pranks played against you guys, and if you had any revenge against your cast.
John.
Funny. I am a bit of a prankster. I don't know, it says here that we're on DC TV right now, and I don't want to upset anybody.
Well, why stop now?
Listen, I'm a prankster. I mean, I love playing jokes on Steven all the time because he laughed. I love the idea that once my thing is get the work done, but if you have an extra take, I usually would say to them, if we have time, take the extra take, and then I would do something silly. Thinking of something off the top of my head is really hard because I've probably already told you most of them. The most memorable is me doing that and a finishing scene with Steven and Arrow. I turned around and I walked away from Oliver Queen, and I was like, after I told him, you're gonna die, and I went, and as I was doing that, Paul Blackthorne was walking on, and he just looked at me and he was like, what's that? Just a big jazz jump, and I walked off as Malcolm Merlin. It felt so good. However, it had all it takes, but those are the kind of things I like to do. But revenge, no one's ever gotten back at me. Yet. Shit.
No, I'm not a prankster. I'm actually just too anxious to get it done. I'm so annoying. People find me so tedious because I just say, why are we talking? Why are we shooting? I don't care what you think about my character, just shoot it. No, I'm exaggerating. No, I mean, on Alias, there were, which was, the longest show I was on, Jennifer and I, we had a problem not laughing. And there's actually a YouTube, I think she put it up on Instagram, we're in an elevator, doing an elevator scene, and we couldn't get through the scene without laughing, and to the point where Ken Olin, the director, sent us back to our trailers. Because we couldn't stop laughing. And then we got to the point where she said, look, when we block this scene, we just can't walk towards each other. We have to be standing there, already there, but if Victor walks towards me, I'll laugh. And then it became this thing, and I what's so funny about the way I walk? I can't even discuss it. So often, if it was like if we were like outside or something, you'll see the scene, and I walk towards her, and her head is just down. Look at me until I stop and speak to her, and then we get. I mean, it's just stupid things like that. That happens a lot. But I don't think.
Sadly, we are out of time. Please join me in thanking our guests, Victor Garber.